Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll have a moment of silent meditation. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'll call this meeting of the Monongalia County Commission to order. Let the record reflect that all three commissioners are present. First item on the agenda is consent and approval with our county administrator, Renetta McClure. Good morning, Renetta.
Morning.
Good morning.
We have no exonerations to approve. Minutes for January 17th, 2024. Vouchers, General County, $31,626.09. Coal severance, $500. 911, $31,538.07. Chestnut Ridge Park, $3,994.38. Mason-Dixon Park, $1,247.60. Recreation levy, $456.14. Assessor's valuation, $116.88. Payroll, $1,025,531.47. Harmony Grove TIF, $199,456.38. ARPA, $7,575. Purchasing card vouchers, General County, $11,967. 911, $4,193.12. Home confinement, $171. And our ARPA, $8,943.30 for a voucher total of $1,327,316.43. You have budget revisions to approve today for state approval, general fund, for law enforcement, jail reimbursable, dog warden, central garage, in-house revisions, also for general funds for the circuit clerk and water. Position vacancies for boards and authorities are listed on our website, and fiduciary orders for January 24th, 2024.
Do I have a motion to approve the consent and approval agenda?
So
Second.
moved. Sorry.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm going to
Yes,
talk over
aye.
you there.
Passes unanimously. Sorry, I have a frog in my throat. There's no other fiduciary items, correct?
No.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is introduction to new employee personnel changes. Do we have any?
None that I am aware of.
Okay, we'll breeze past that. Next item on the agenda is comments from the public. We will now open the meeting for public comment. Any member of the public wishing to be heard must raise his hand, come forward, and provide his or her name and address for the record. Please note that time will be limited to 3 minutes unless circumstance warrant additional time as approved by the president. And also please note that it's our policy not to respond, but individual commissioners may choose to respond in their updates at the end of the meeting. So, having said that, I open up the public portion. Anybody would like to come forward? Okay, seeing none. Whoops, I'm sorry, sir. Okay.
Gentlemen, thank you for your time. My name's Sean Commodore, 4112 Grafton Road, Morgantown, 26508. I wanted to bring up some comments about the Greenbag Road Improvement Project. As far as the whole Greenbag Road Improvement Project, including these roundabouts, is concerned, I believe more research needs to be done, and also we need to consult with the communities and groups within that area to which this roundabout project will affect immensely. South Middle School, how do parents feel about the road change? You have businesses, ice rink folks, the softball and baseball organizations. Do they know a roundabout on Mississippi Street will delay them for months, maybe even years? How about the MTech students and people using the trails? Who will be responsible for consulting these folks to get their feedback? This is a long-term project that will affect all businesses in that area. With so many public comments and petitions, I'm very surprised this thing still has a pulse. Also, have the folks building this roundabout on Mississippi Street consulted the Mon Valley Green Space Coalition? I bet they may have something to say about the roundabout on Mississippi Street. How about any of the other White Park advocacy groups? Environmentally, my concern is since this is going to be a fix for the new truck route, what if a truck carrying hazardous materials overturns and contaminates the watershed that was just cleaned up and restored in that area? What if contaminants spread throughout the waterlands of White Park? There was just a local environmental advocacy group that struck down pipes proposed to go through White Park. I'm hoping some of the folks from the advocacy group are here today. If not, I'm sure they would like to know more about the first of 2 roundabouts proposed to be installed at Mississippi Street. I wonder if the truckers will even use the new route. Have their company signed an agreement or something stating they will only use these roundabouts now? You can lead a horse to water, but my friends, Morgantown is a small, close-knit town. That's why it's nice here. I personally don't need these roundabouts, as they will ugly up the area during construction and probably so during completion. I'm going to say it in a roundabout way. This project is a nightmare to the many people it will curse. I say we consider better options of less expense. Respectfully, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Have anybody else who'd like to speak? All right, seeing no more, go ahead and close the public comment portion. Next item on the agenda is a presentation with the Mountain Line Transit Authority. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Maria Smith, General Manager, Mountain Line Transit Authority. I come to you this morning with a request for permission to run the authority's property tax levy renewal for the 2024 primary election. We're requesting this issue be placed before the voters for approval for a 4-year continuation of funding running from July 1st of 2025 through June 30th of 2029. We are requesting this without any change to the current levy rates. The timing of the ballot for us is critical to allow for us capital operating to make sure there's no disruption in services. The levy so far has, since 2020, has allowed us to purchase 20 new buses costing $7.72 million. About $1.5 billion of that was funded with the levy funds, and then that allows us a almost 2 match in federal funds. So the levy funds are being stretched through the use of federal funds as well. We've also added new and expanded service equaling 41,443 new service hours a year. This is a 57% increase over the 56,744 hours that we were providing June 30th of 2016, which is before we had a levy. We've increased service frequencies to on selected runs, extending evening and weekend service hours. We've expanded new areas, including the western end of the county, which goes out to Wadestown now. We also now service areas such as Suncrest Town Center, Fort Pierpont, and West Ridge Milan Park. The levy to Mountain Line on an annual basis is approximately $2.2 million. Over the course of the 4-year levy, that's going to amount to about $8.8 million. On an annual basis, $500,000 of that is keyed to purchasing new and replacement equipment. The remainder, about $1.7 million, is towards services for growth areas and county routes. The request is for, I'll go through the levy rates. For Class 1, it would be 1.1 cent. Class 2 would be 2.2 cents. Class 3 would be 4.4 cents, and Class 4 would be 4.4 cents. To give somewhat of an example on what that means to our residents, an assessed property at $160,000, that's going to be about $2.93 per month, or $35 a year. So that just kind of gives you a feel for what it is. So that is our request. I'm happy to answer any questions, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.
I don't think we don't have any questions now. Obviously, we just received the proposal, and we'll go through it and follow up if we have any issues, and then we'll take it up at a future meeting to consider putting it on a ballot. So, thank you, Maria.
Great.
I
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda is grants. Colleen Kuhn, our County Commission Office Manager and Grant Coordinator.
Good morning.
Morning.
I have requests for reimbursements for the Governor's Highway Safety Program. The first one is Safe Communities in the amount of $657.83, and impaired driving in the amount of $2,810.06.
Do I have a motion to approve the documents as presented?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Sorry, I was in the middle of a cough.
Correspondence.
I just have one item that came in late last week from Mark McCoy, who's the chair of the City of Morgantown's Art Commission, and it's just thanking the county commission for your support for the summer concert series at the amphitheater.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have any correspondence?
No, sir.
There's no unfinished business. New business. To consider for approval a request from the Morgantown Utility Board for a contribution of $56,000 to provide 28 customers water service in the Morgantown, in the Morgan's Run area.
I move to approve the expenditure of $56,000 towards the water improvement project out there that will provide 28 new customers with water service.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, discussion?
Just, this is a long time ask, not necessarily to us, but I've been hearing about the Morgan Run project from several homeowners since before I was on commission. I'm glad to see that they're moving forward with it. Muv's been working through a grant and trying to provide that much-needed service to that area. So it's pretty exciting, and this is a long-standing commitment we have when there's new service being provided to areas that we contribute to each new household in some way, shape, or form. So I'm very excited.
And to be clear, this is a $3 million MUB project, which they're expecting to get about $2 million in grant dollars. But our contribution is anytime in the area when a utility is going to do a new tap to a house, we'll contribute $2,000 to that tap. So we do this all the time with like I always script the name, the Valley Falls.
Little Creek.
Little Creek. That was close. The Little Creek PSD is a Marion County PSD that services a lot of our citizens. So it's pretty common every time they put in a new tap, we will contribute to that, so to encourage them to service our citizens and bring new service to our citizens. And also fire hydrants. We also cover fire hydrants in areas. And I believe in the vouchers that we approved earlier today, there were fire hydrants that we had approved for the Halleck Road area that were paid for in those vouchers. So it's an ongoing thing, but that's our policy, is to contribute a tap fee for new water service in the county. So, all right. Having said that, we have a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Sorry, I'm dry throat this morning. Any other new business?
No.
Okay. Reports from elected officials and/or department supervisors. Okay. JR.
You were looking right at him.
Sorry, JR.
Oh, you're okay. No one expected me to be here, so it's okay. As per usual, I have a 60-page PowerPoint that I just want to stop in today and recognize some folks who were instrumental in having the tubing hill open this weekend. As you know, we got hit Friday with a pretty big snowstorm. We had over a foot of snow at Chestnut Ridge. At 7:30 a.m., the majority of the staff was there due to their excitement to open this up for the county. And I actually have notes today because I do not want to forget anybody, because there was a lot of people that were really, really important to make this happen. First of all, I want to recognize County Motor Pool. Chris and Steve made alterations to some of our equipment to allow our staff to have less time working on the hill in the middle of the night to make snow, and people didn't have to go out at 3 in the morning to fill the gas tanks and stuff like that. That is a huge, huge improvement. Also want to thank the County Facilities Department. Scott and his crew made some electrical upgrades that saved us $5,000 from renting a generator that we already had on site. We just needed them to add a plug, and so that was taken care of. Big thanks to the West Virginia DOH during Friday's massive snowstorm. We had 70 people that day come to Chestnut Ridge. They kept that road open for us all day long. So big thanks to them, because I'm sure they had a lot to do besides us that day. Brian Kiger at Morgantown Power Equipment also, we needed a piece of equipment in the last minute because of a breakdown. And Brian got that on site for us to make sure we were open all weekend long. So thanks to Brian. The Chestnut Ridge staff, of course, they were there all weekend making sure everything was open and that people were having a good time. Lastly, for my regular thanks, the litter crew. On Monday through Friday, the litter crew was out there helping us roll out the turf, bring wood down so we could have a campfire next to the sledding hill all weekend. So big thanks to them as well. As you can say, this was a group effort by everybody. This wasn't just the Parks and Rec staff. So I wanted to come here today and thank them. And then I want to give a special thanks to Corwin Hoban, the superintendent at Chestnut Ridge. Went above and beyond all weekend. I know he put in probably 60 hours from Thursday to Sunday. So big thanks to him. Chrissy David, our tubing manager, she was there at 7:30 every morning shoveling the walks, making sure people could get in. And I was thoroughly impressed with her management of that hill and the safety of everybody who was there. She did a wonderful job. Seth Hubbard, our superintendent at Camp Muffley, he volunteered to come up Thursday, Friday, Saturday to help us. It's a little slower right now at Camp Muffley, and we needed the extra help with the weather. Some of the part-time staff wasn't able to make it, so he stepped in to help as well. Kit Porter, she is our full-time housekeeper at Chestnut Ridge. Due to the same thing, some of the part-time seasonal staff that we'd hired for the hill did not show up for work. Kit jumped in voluntarily to help on the hill, was trained, did a wonderful job. Madeline Chadwell, she is a part-time seasonal that we hired just for the hill. When that girl gets a little older, and if we find a spot for her, she will work for Monongalia County Parks. Wonderful job. I couldn't say more about her as well. And the last one is Sean Sacco. He is our full-time maintenance worker at Chestnut Ridge Park. He picked up an extra shift on Saturday just to make sure that things were done correctly and make sure for those who couldn't make it to work, he was there to help. He did all the plowing of the parking lots on Friday after that big snow, helped make sure the roads were open. I can't say more about that entire staff up there after this weekend. I will say, due to the rain forecast all week, we will not be open this week. We will definitely try to make it happen next week if we don't have 50 degrees and rain every day. It's not conducive to our staff to stand out in the rain on a sled hill. It's not good for anyone's health. Tickets can be purchased at moncountyparks.com. They will be released every Wednesday at noon. We wait till Wednesday to make sure we are going to be open for the weekend, because it would be a nightmare for our staff if they had to process 300 refunds for that weekend if we did not open. And speaking of that, we had 270 people on that hill this weekend. And everybody has opinions nowadays, and it is very few times in life that you have 270 people that were ecstatic about what they did and not one complaint the entire weekend. I went to the bank yesterday to make our deposits for the park. I got inundated at the bank about people who were there this weekend and had a good time. Last thing, well, one of the last things, tickets are $10. There are 2 time sessions that you can sign up for on a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That is 10 to noon and 2 to 4. We use the middle time to make sure the hill is ready between sessions. If you want to follow when we make the announcement that we're going to be open for the weekend and tickets are going up, we encourage you to follow Mon County Parks and Rec Facebook page, the Chestnut Ridge Facebook page, and if we will also provide many updates through our social media. And if you're not on social media, please call the park or email the park. And finally, projects like this Tubing Hill, the pool renovation at Camp Muffley, the facility renovations at Mason-Dixon Park, the 5.5 miles of trail we've added to Mason-Dixon Park, just go to show what the levy has done with us since 2016. And I would just like to remind folks that in May, the levy comes up again for vote, and we would really appreciate if the members of the county would approve that once again. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, JR.
Thank you, JR. Okay. We have any other elected officials or department supervisors? Okay, we'll move on to reports from county commissioners. Tom?
Yeah, first, just to clarify Sean Commodore's comments, just to get a clarification, there's been 6 years of studies done for the Green Bag Road, 2 environmental studies, 3 other studies, but I want it very clear, it is the federal government who, after all the studies were done, came up with the recommendation of the roundabouts. If you look at the other recommendations, they would have taken a lot more land and cost a lot more money. So that is why you have those recommendations. That is from the federal government. Other groups and organizations were involved, and in fact, that's why we have the community garden, because there's a community garden that is going to be taken out, and that was the agreement to have up to $15,000 to build community gardens. So I just wanted to clarify that so we understood that. The other is, I'm glad I get to speak first because I was fortunate to go up to Chestnut Ridge Park, and the best comments I heard were people grabbing me going, this is the best $10 I've ever spent in my life. The kids were happy, the parents were happy. JR, I mean, what they did, it was so much fun. And as they came down the hill and crashed into those blue things, I thought, I know they're very soft, but they're like 75 pounds that you have to pull. So I can only imagine how tired everyone was there. But it was great to see it work, to see the positive, and then the responses. I can't say enough about everyone, and I do want to do also a shout out to the DOH, because I was very worried about driving up there. They had the road cleared, and then you had it cleared at the park, and everyone did a great thing. And yeah, the only frustrating is the weather this time. I mean, everyone was all excited. In fact, people wanted more and more people to be there, but I can see why you limited it at 50, because it was very safe and it was a great time. So congratulations.
Thanks, Tom. Jeff?
Yeah, I'll echo that sentiment, and I appreciate the shout out to all the staff that worked so hard. But I will say, not to puff you up too much, to have a successful staff like that, there's a leader at the top that's directing it all, and we appreciate all your efforts and making sure everything went off smoothly. So pat yourself on the back as well as your staff if you don't hurt yourself, but try to get a little back there. I, too, had a lot of comments about the sledding hill, and honestly, I've been to the one at Snowshoe, and it other than the fact that they have a lot more snow and stays open longer, it compares perfectly with ours, and it's about 6 times the cost. So it's a wonderful thing that the levies helped us provide, and so thank you for all your help with that. We had Sean and I participated in a meeting. I was in person, and Sean was on the phone along with Renetta with the DOH last Friday discussing the 155 project. It's a fruitful meeting, I think, and we're poised to move forward with that. Yesterday had a couple constituent meetings on various things, so things are ramping up. A lot of people are concerned about the levies upcoming, and we look forward to public input on them and reviewing them before they're placed on the ballot. So that's really all I've got, Sean.
It's been a little bit of a quiet week because last weekend I went to the County Commission Association meeting in Charleston. But since the last meeting, last Thursday, we had an MMPO meeting, which Commissioner Bloom and I attended at. Friday, we had staff reports. Even though the snow, we just went remote. We had broadband sinking in, as Commissioner Arnett discussed. We did have a call with the Department of Transportation Secretary Jimmy Riston and his staff, and I hope that we take that progress or the discussion we had in that meeting and move it forward. It was primarily in regards to the Exit 155 project. Today's a regular day. Tomorrow morning I have Milan Park Foundation board meeting, health department meeting, and then in the afternoon we tentatively have a meeting with the administrator, and I have a meeting with our HR consultants. Friday we have staff reports, a broadband sync, and a Juma call. I do want to, again, JR, thank you for all you did. It was enough of a workload, and then with the snow on top of it and all those other things. So it was really an exercise in getting through some pretty tough conditions to actually be open and be successful. And I actually contacted you this week because we were thinking of something to do this weekend, and we were going to go to tubing. So I started through the whole process of trying to figure out how you do that. So I do appreciate the information. It's very helpful. And in regards to snow, last Friday, I really want to thank everybody that really kind of got together. This commission was in constant communication from Thursday on. I was in communication with the Chief Judge, Perry DeChristopher. We had a call, our staff called us, Scott Finch and his staff did a wonderful job. The snowstorm was a little slower coming through than expected, so that allowed them to get out and really get all of our facilities cleared if we were going to be open. And about 6:45, Perry Joe, the administrator, and I had a call with Scott and kind of assessed the whole situation and made the decision to close our facilities. It was in the best interest of everyone. I had not received one complaint. I think people see that we were systematically, logically looking at all the circumstances in front of us and then made a decision based off of the safety of our employees and our general public that would be coming to the building. So I appreciate everybody pulling together and having that conversation. I got a personal thank you from Judge DeChristopher after the process saying thanks for allowing them to be part of the conversation because we have a weird dynamic here. We can't close the court system, but we can close our buildings. Well, you can't do that if they're open. We have to have the building open. So it was a good coordination of effort to deal with the storm. So I really appreciate it. And other than that, I don't have anything else. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. We're adjourned.